This is the interview for the Philosophy of Education EDTP 635 with teacher Miss Elena Lynham. And I am Patricia Smith-Janney discussing my philosophy of education. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Would you be willing to interview me on my philosophy of education?
Of course.
Great.
What kind of teacher are you?
Well, I really believe that I'm constructivist in nature. I believe that all students can learn, and I really like to work in a group environment, and I feel that students need a really supportive environment from teachers, parents, and inside the classroom. Don't you agree with that?
I agree, and I think that you had mentioned something about universal design for learning earlier, and I think that's also something that's really important.
Yes, I believe that the universal design for learning is huge in education, and I think in order to be able to capture the attention and engage students today, we need to design our learning with technology, we need to use music, we need to use performance, we need to use arts integration, and that will also capture the special ed kids in the learning process.
Yeah. So you just mentioned technology. What kind of technology would you use in the classroom?
Well, I really believe in the Promethean board, as you see here, which is an amazing tool, and the kids love it. And I would really like to be able to use the Promethean board. Also the computers. I think every kid should have access to computers. I believe in music. I believe in audio technology, assistive technology. And I'm also very open to having any kinds of additional technology to help special ed kids, learn the lesson.
Great. So you've mentioned music and arts integration a couple of times. What is it about arts integration that you like or think is important?
I think arts integration is an incredibly important component of teaching, and that, having taught in a school where arts integration was a really big part of the program, I can see how arts integration really captures the kids' attention. It pulls them in. It pulls them into the learning process through acting, singing, through, clapping out beats for math. It's huge. It's really huge for the kids, and I really hope to use that.
Good. How would you envision your classroom setup?
Well, I would like my class to be bright. I would like to have bright designs and displays. I think that a really comfortable setting for kids is really important. Natural lighting. I would like to have lamps, pillows, where they can really just sort of kick back, because this is their second home,
right?
For most of the day,
yeah,
right? So they need a place to feel like they can be comfortable. This is their home. I also envision having pods, the way you have your room set up. Mm-hmm. I love the group pods where they can work together. I think that design is excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think, and I agree, I think it embodies that you can work in teams and cooperate, and that's important as well.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about teaching kids with disabilities?
Well, I feel that teaching kids with disabilities is a very challenging modern day issue for teachers. And I think that we all really need to learn how to incorporate and teach to kids with disabilities, within the curriculum. And that also brings in the universal design for learning. So if I have a child who's hearing impaired, I need to think about how I'm going to structure that lesson toward him or her, or a child that has a physical disability, or a child that has, ADHD. Mm-hmm. And so I really have to, when I'm planning my lessons, this is what I learned during my lesson planning, is that I have to really stop and think, who are my students? I have to know who my students are, and then I have to plan my lesson to reach the special ed kids in the class, and it's hugely important.
Right. And I would agree, and that's a great way to go about it. What do you think your best attribute is as a teacher?
Well, I think that my enthusiasm for my content area is probably my biggest asset. I love Spanish, and I live and breathe it, and I think that it is so important in our modern society to know Spanish. Everything that we touch and see and do has Spanish on it.
Right.
Any box you buy is in dual languages. Right. So we really are turning to be a dual language society. Mm-hmm. And my enthusiasm for Spanish, I think, is my greatest attribute, getting these kids to sort of understand how it touches the real world. Mm-hmm. And it's so important. And I'm excited to teach it.
Oh, great. Well, that sounds like you're going to be very prepared. So thank you for letting me interview you.
And thank you for interviewing me. for interviewing me. Thanks.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye.